And let's have a look at the international press with Flo now. Now, Algeria, the presidential elections set for tomorrow, is on everyone's lips.
That's right. Let's take a look at the Algerian press. A lot of people say they're holding their breath, even though it seems like the result is pretty much a foregone conclusion. El Watan here talks about the fact that President Abdelaziz Bouteflika is probably going to be re-elected for a fourth term. And you can see his main rival here, Ali Ben Fils. He's already pretty much anticipating this possibility, but you can see here that he's vowing to hold peaceful protests if ever it seems like there's voting fraud. And he says any potential fraudsters actually, they face a tough task because he claims to have an armada of 60,000 observers across the country that are going to be making sure that there's no voting fraud. But as I was saying, a lot of people are critical of the fact that Bouteflika is running for a fourth term despite his poor health and despite promises that he wouldn't run again. Here you can see a cartoon in Liberté, another Algerian paper. It says Boutef, so Bouteflika is headed for a fourth term. You can see him there surrounded by police escorts, but he's in a wheelchair. And there's another cartoon in the International New York Times that's also critical of the president for running despite his poor health. You can see here Bouteflika in the background sitting at his desk, seemingly fast asleep with all this medical aid around him, and a commentator there saying, let's just call it a caretaker government.
All right, stepping away from Algeria for a second, Ukraine is still getting a lot of press attention, isn't it?
That's right. Now, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned that Ukraine is on the brink of civil war, but a lot of papers have been focusing on the fact that there's two strikingly very different narratives on the crisis in Ukraine, whether you're in the West or whether you're in Russia. And you can see the cartoon here. This is the take in China Daily on the issue. You can see how the Western media is turning Vladimir Putin into a real devil figure there. Now, the US and the EU have drawn a lot of criticism for not really reacting to the situation. And this is a very interesting article in the Wall Street Journal today about the situation in Germany. And it points out that the country is actually very divided over whether Germany should stand with the West in facing down Russia. And you can see here the results of a poll there right in the middle that find the big swaths of the German population, especially young people and people in the former East, well, they're skeptical about picking a side in this crisis.
Okay, let's move on to something completely different. You've pulled out two articles on Iran, haven't you?
That's right. Let's start with the Daily Star. It's a Lebanese paper, and it sent reporters to Iran, to the Gomrock Bazaar in South Tehran. And their reporters found evidence that U.S. Army products, including arms and helicopters, are being sold in Iran. Now, to quote one of the traders at that bazaar, we can get anything that the U.S. Army has now from a supplier in Afghanistan within 2 weeks. So this article seems to suggest that there are major leaks, and the reporters say that the contract numbers and other information on the packaging and labels seem to match up with U.S. government records. Now, they did contact the Defense Logistic Agency in the U.S. It said it needed more information to properly comment on this. But I pulled out another article from The Guardian about the fact that the country actually may ban vasectomies in a drive to boost the birth rate. Basically, Ayatollah Khamenei wants to double the population to 150 million, so might ban vasectomies.
Okay, Flo, that's where we leave. That's all we've got time for, but thanks very much.